Did you know the color of your urine can give you some indication of what may be going on with your body? So in this video, I'm going to break down these different colors and give you some insights of what that color may be telling you. Let's jump in.
T.C. Hale is not a doctor and does not claim to be a doctor or licensed in any type of medical field. Don't be an idiot and use anything heard on the show as medical advice. This information should be used for educational purposes only, and you should contact your doctor for any medical advice. Now get off me.
So remember, I'm not a doctor and I'm not giving you any medical advice, and I don't want you to learn anything here and restrict your ability to seek medical help if you need it. Because there's going to be some colors here that really could indicate, hey, I might need a little bit of medical help. So we're just going to look at these colors and give you some insights on what may be going on when we see these colors in our urine. And you should be checking out the color in your urine. You pee in the toilet and you're like, hey, what color did I get today? You really want to get some insights when you have insights available for you. So let's go over kind of these different yellow variations, because this is going to be the most common thing, and this is really what you want to see as a human. You want to see yellow urine. And you might see it where it's dark, light, or even almost clear. And depending on how severe that is could really give you more indications of what's going on. If your urine is dark yellow, that can be an indication that you're not drinking enough water, but it could also be an indication that maybe the body is sending most of the water to the wrong place. So this is an important topic to understand, and it was Dr. Emanuel Revici who helped us understand that the body has this natural circadian rhythm at the cellular level. So during the day we should be in this catabolic state where the body is very good at creating energy, and this is where it kind of breaks down tissues so that we can get rid of that cellular debris and then rebuild the body and renew it. And then at night, the body moves into this anabolic state where it's really good at sleeping and then rebuilding and repairing. So we really want both of these states, but if someone gets stuck in one of these states most of the time, it can create a lot of trouble. And in this catabolic state, the body likes to send more of the water to the bowels and less to the kidneys. So a person may be drinking enough water, but if they're stuck in this catabolic state and the body's sending most of the water to the bowels, then we could see this darker urine here because it's kind of, the body's getting rid of a lot of that cellular debris and it will darken the urine. In that anabolic state, if someone's in an overly anabolic situation, then the body likes to send more of the water to the kidneys and less to the bowels. So when we're seeing like almost clear urine, that's an indication that a person could be drinking too much water, or maybe they're kind of stuck in this anabolic state and the body's sending most of the water through the kidneys and making that urine look a lot more clear. So if it seems like this yellow is a little bit too dark or a little bit too light, but you feel like you're drinking an adequate amount of water, then we'll put a link in the description below for our video on how to know if your circadian rhythm is off, so you can check that out and do some simple tests at home to figure out, maybe am I leaning too far on that anabolic or catabolic side, and is maybe the body just sending too much water to either the kidneys or the bowels. So those are some adjustments there. Now if this urine is really clear, like, oh, I drank some water and I peed out some water. You know, this can happen if you drink a whole lot of water in one specific day, and maybe that's not a huge problem. But over time, this can create a situation called hyponatremia, where the sodium levels go very low in the system, and you don't really want your minerals going super low. That can create a lot of trouble. Now, if you're seeing fluorescent yellow, a lot of times that can just be from B vitamins, and the body, maybe they're not absorbing those B vitamins as well, or maybe you're just getting rid of some of those. When the body pees those out, it's like, hey, wow, my pee is really fancy, and sometimes that can be from those B vitamins. Now, if we're seeing orange urine, leaning towards that orange side, this could happen if you ate like a pile of carrots, maybe too much beta carotene. Some medications, especially laxatives, have the ability to make that urine look a little bit orange. Some UTI medications. And if you get a cheap multivitamin, a lot of them have binders that kind of restrict the person's ability to really assimilate the nutrients in that multivitamin, and the body will pee a lot of that out, and that can color that urine a little bit. And if it starts to lean towards this red, pink, rust, and amber, this can really create a variety of issues that we kind of need to look into. So the easy things are, oh man, I had a bunch of beets or rhubarb or fava beans, or even too much aloe can make this urine a little bit darker. Too many berries could make it kind of pink, you know, that kind of thing. But if you haven't been eating those foods, then you want to look into, okay, some antibiotics and medications could do that. artificial coloring in kids' drinks. If you're drinking kids' drinks, then you're really not doing it right. You really don't want to be drinking kids' drinks. But the big deal is going to be problems with either the liver or gallbladder or some type of bile flow issue. A lot of people just view this as a gallbladder problem, but a lot of times the gallbladder is having trouble because a person's bile has become too thick and sticky and it doesn't flow correctly, and then it continues to concentrate in that bile. And bile is this soapy substance that's made by the liver, and it helps us emulsify or break down our dietary fats. It also helps us digest our food. But a lot of the toxins that the liver filters out, it puts into that bile. And then that way, when the bile comes down to help us digest our food, the bile carries those toxins through our intestinal tract, and then the toxins go out the back door when we poop like a champion. So this bile flow is very important, and it's very common for someone's bile to become too thick and sticky to flow correctly. And now those toxins are not being removed by the body. So now they accumulate, and then the body's like, what am I going to do with these? Hey, maybe the kidneys can help out. The kidneys aren't really supposed to get rid of this solid type waste stuff, but we'll ask them to help out anyway. So if the kidneys are peeing out and the urine looks almost like, this rust or amber or really dark color, then that can be a sign of some problems going on. We want to make sure bile is flowing. We'll put a link in the description below for our video on 5 steps to improve bile flow if you feel like that might be an issue for you. If you're seeing like a light colored stool or a pale colored stool, then that can be a really strong indication of poor bile flow, and some steps might need to be taken to correct that problem. Dehydration, but usually this is severe dehydration when you're really going to see it this kind of amber-like color. Maybe you were sick for a few days and just lying around not really drinking a whole lot. Also, if it's dark, it could be like old blood, and blood could be red when it comes out. That's a real problem. You really want to get medical help if that's an issue. But if it's older, it can become darker. If it's like coming higher in the system, it can become darker as it moves through the system. So that could be an indication of this amber rust type color of urine. Exercise-induced hematuria is kind of this situation that you see commonly with maybe somebody running a marathon or doing very extreme, heavy, intense weightlifting kind of things. That can create some issues there. But when we're seeing it where it looks like, hey, is that a blood thing? Is that kind of scary a situation? Then you might want to get some medical help in these types of situations. Now, if we're seeing white or cloudy, this can sometimes be an infection. Some medications can do this, or if you're having a kidney stone or bladder stone type issue, or maybe a UTI. And green or blue urine, what are you talking about? Well, if you have like lots of berries, like how many piles of berries, maybe some artificial colors have the ability to make that urine a little bit more on the blue or green side. There's also some medications that can do that, but that should be pretty obvious. You should be able to ask your doctor, hey, getting some green urine here, does this medication do that with some people? There's some infections like UTIs that can make that urine look a little bit green. And maybe you have an alien. It just seems like if you had an alien inside of you that something green would come out of some type of orifice. And I couldn't find any studies that confirmed that, but I don't know, that just seems kind of obvious. And if you're looking at black urine, well, this is usually going to be a problem. Now, there are some things like some artificial sweeteners like sorbitol. If you're having way too much or way too much aloe, that can cause that urine to look a little bit on the black side. Maybe like Coca-Cola kind of. Some medications can do that. And again, kind of like we were talking about old blood, like blood that's coming from further up in the system where it's not red anymore and it's become dark, that has the ability to darken that urine to that level. But in that situation, you're probably going to get some medical help. That's kind of a significant situation that you really don't want to see. You really want to see this stuff here. You really want to see the yellow things. And most of these other things, if you're not eating a significant amount of a food that could color that, or you're not on some type of medication, or you're not drinking your kids' fruity tooty, yellow tooty stuff, kind of drink stuff, then those problems are usually going to be not great news. Usually something going wrong. You want to see this area here and then vary this by the level of water that you're drinking and where the body is sending that water. That's going to be the situation for most people. Now, if you want to gain more insights from your urine, check out our video on what can your urine tell you about your health. Let us know how it goes.